In health and wealth today, the Invitea Corporation is getting involved in tracing breast cancer. We have Jenna Finley with us now, genetics counselor. Thanks so much for coming on our show, Jenna. And why is it important to understand your genetic risk of breast cancer?
Knowing your risk, your genetic risk in particular, is really important because it can help you plan your prevention and screening. So if you have an increased risk, if you find out that you have a genetic predisposition to cancer, you can actually start screening earlier, like I have, and you can get additional screening, and you can get screened more often. Because really catching cancer early is really, really important for survival. In fact, a study actually has shown that people who get genetic testing before they get diagnosed with cancer have a higher survival rate.
Tell us about your personal story and how your life was changed.
Yeah, so I am a genetic counselor, and I've always been interested in genetics, but I never had any genetic testing before last year because I really didn't have a family history of any conditions. But I did do Invitea's proactive genetic health screen panel last year, and I found out to my great surprise that I actually do have a mutation in a gene that causes an increased risk of breast cancer. And this is huge for me and actually my family too, because I've been able to start my mammograms much earlier than I would have had I not known about this, which is going to allow me to detect any cancer that I may develop early, which could eventually save my life. And this information is really important for my family members too, because genes, we share genes, of course, with our family members. So I've been able to educate my family about this predisposition, and given that gives them the choice and the option to go and get genetic testing to find out if they're at risk too.
What should people look for if they're thinking about genetic testing?
So if you're looking to answer medical questions, such as breast cancer risk, like we're talking about today, you really want to make sure you go with a medical genetic testing company as opposed to a consumer genetic testing company. Invitea, which is the company I work for and the company that did the test that gave me my result, is a medical genetic testing company. So the genetic tests that they offer are the same exact genetic tests. In fact, they are ordered by doctors and used in hospitals all over the U.S.
Well, thanks so much for sharing your story with us today, Jenna.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
For more Business First AM, check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.